So this is my husband, Dr. Aaron Chadwick. I'm Dr. Wanda Chadwick. We are the nutrition physicians. Babe, can you tell us a little bit about casein and protein?
Yes, so casein is the protein found in cow's milk, and there is some in goat's milk also, but cow's milk has a lot more casein than does goat's milk. Casein is the protein that is allergenic. Many people have allergies to cow's milk because of the casein, which is different from lactose intolerance. Lactose is the sugar found in the milk. And when people have lactose intolerance, they get gas and bloated, and they maybe have diarrhea. That's not an allergy, it's an intolerance. It's a little bit different. Whereas an allergy to the casein, which again, about 80 to 90% of the population of the United States have an allergy to the casein in cow's milk, and about 60% have a sensitivity to the lactose. So the casein is the problem. And I can tell you many stories of children who are going to get their ear tubes put in.
That's right.
Because they had a lot of mucus and a lot of congestion in their ears, and it was all due to the cow's milk. So we got them off of cow's milk, their ears, they didn't have to go for surgery. So
that's right. That's right.
Families that way.
That's right.
So that's important. Another thing is that there is a newer type of cow's milk. It's called A2, the letter A, the number 2. And that A2 milk has a different type of casein, so it seems to be not as allergenic. So if you really want to have cow's milk, you can do the A2 milk if you really wanted to. But again, I wouldn't suggest do that because of the casein. And we also know that casein is linked to other issues, other health concerns. If you're a man, you should listen to this. Is a 200% increase in prostate problems when a man consumes cow's milk. 200% increase in prostate problems. We also know that casein is linked to type 1 diabetes, not type 2 diabetes, but type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease. That means that your immune system, your own immune system, attacked your pancreas gland and caused it not to be able to produce a chemical called insulin. That's type 1 diabetes. And the research on that shows that that comes from the allergy to casein and some sort of infection. So the combination of some sort of infection, it may be something like E. coli or something of that nature, any kind of infection that you may have, some sort of virus you get, in combination with an allergy to casein, triggers the immune system to attack itself, linked to type 1 diabetes. So that's a problem with that. We also know that we talk about, well, how do I get my calcium? You're probably asking, how do I get my calcium? We know that there's about 300 milligrams of calcium in the cow's milk, but the problem is pasteurization. When you pasteurize cow's milk, you heat it up. When you heat it up, you denature the proteins, you change the protein structures in the cow's milk. Now it becomes more allergenic, number one, but number two, it causes the calcium that's in that cow's milk, it renders it not to be utilizable. You cannot use it in your body. Your body won't use it. So you're not getting calcium from drinking your cow's milk. And take a step back and think about this. We are one of the countries that drinks the more dairy products, more cow's milk than most countries combined.
Yeah. Well, we're the richest country in the world.
Exactly. So we drink a lot of dairy products, but yet we have the most amount of osteoporosis, which is a calcium deficient problem, right? So the issue is that we are pasteurizing and homogenizing our cow's milk and rendering the calcium unabsorbable. Now, if we were able to get raw cow's milk, that would be really good. But unfortunately, the dairy industry does not want us to have that because raw cow's milk does not have a long shelf life, only a couple of days, whereas pasteurized cow's milk can last for like a week or 2 weeks. So there's more shelf life, so the farmer and the milk companies make more money that way, unfortunately. So
that's good. That's good information. You know, when my mom was younger, she would just go underneath the cow and just drink the milk directly from the cow. And guess what, you guys? There was no inflammation. Back then, my mom's 92 years old. There was inflammation was basically unheard of. Today, there's people have inflammation. It's rampant. Inflammation is rampant. So talk about the inflammatory factors that are caused by cow's milk.
Right. So we also know that because of the casein, what it's doing is an allergy causes the body to make more immune chemicals. And when you make more immune chemicals, they're floating around and they're getting in the way of other things happening. It's kind of like you have something going on in your neighborhood, and you heard a gunshot, everybody runs out and starts talking, and all the neighbors are talking because of the gunshot. That's what happens in our bodies when we have allergies like casein in our body. The body starts talking. That talking is what we refer to as inflammation. So we don't want to have the inflammation because it blocks a lot of other things that go on in the body that are healthy for our bodies. In other words, inflammation is linked to all sorts of chronic and degenerative diseases. So
that's right.
the casein in the milk and the fact that they pasteurize the milk products are one of the biggest problems leading to inflammation in our bodies.
I love it when we go to the supermarket and you look at a carton of milk, cow's milk, and it's pasteurized, and it says the word pasteurized.
Yes.
And we know it's homogenized. So they strip it of all of its nutrients, vitamins and minerals, and then they fortify it with artificial calcium and artificial vitamin D, so that the consumer, us, we think that we're getting some vitamins and minerals. But here's the reality. Goat's milk has potassium, it has phosphorus, it has magnesium, it has vitamin A. This is all beneficial to you and to me. So these are some of the benefits. Although, so let's talk about what we do with our family. Let's talk about plant-based milks. Because in our family, we use hazelnut milk, almond milk, oat milk, hemp milk, banana milk, coconut milk. So what's the difference, Dr. Chadwick, between cow's milk, goat's milk, and plant-based milk, which is what we use? Of course, when the children were younger, we did give them goat milk because of the fat. The fat content that is in goat's milk was necessary for the growth of their brain. And that's another thing. I don't know if you mentioned it, that goat milk has a higher fat content than cow's milk. So if you're suffering from heart disease, high cholesterol, we're going to suggest that you modify your intake of goat milk. Is that correct?
Keep it in moderation.
Drink it in moderation. But let's talk about the plant-based milks that we eat, that we consume.
So the plant-based milk, because they don't have the casein in them, they're easier to digest. Typically, unless you have some sort of allergy, let's say to almonds or whatever, then you would want to stay with almond milk. But there are so many varieties nowadays to choose from. But I happen to enjoy almond milk. Some people like you were saying, babe, the hemp milk or the banana milk, even cashew milk, oat milk, OAT, oat milk. That's another favorite of a lot of people nowadays. So those are really good sources of protein, plant-based proteins, and good sources of nutrients. Even calcium they have added to that, so they're sources of calcium too. So we enjoy and we like to recommend more plant-based type of milks as opposed to the animal-based milks.
I mean, I particularly like plant-based milks. There's no hormones. They put the hormones in the animals. So I like there's no hormones. It's lower fat, lower calories. It requires less land. Because you need land and you need food to raise the cows. But you had said something about the cows when we were having this, about the goats. You said that goats are more like a human weight.
As far as the size of the goat is more like a human being as opposed to a cow. A cow is about 1,500 pounds. No human being is 1,500 pounds. So because we're the same size or similar size to a goat, the nutrients in the goats, including the protein, similar weights, the proteins and the other nutrients are more balanced like us. So if you compare goat's milk to the nutrition of breast milk, it's much closer to it than cow's milk is. So that's why we recommend that. I
was going to say that. That's really, really good. And there's fewer emissions when you drink plant-based milk. So it saves the planet. It helps us with our nutrition. It's just all around better. That's what we recommend. Is that what you would recommend?
I'd recommend
to your patients and to all of your listeners?
Yes.
So plant-based milk. Anything else?
Well, I just want to say, culturally too, there's a lot of cultures who grew up on cow's milk. So they want to enjoy it because they remember as they were children and their families drinking milk. And even it's interesting how people have lactose intolerance, which is about 60% of the population. they buy lactate milk or lactose reduced milk. And they're basically trying to go around nature. They're trying to fool nature, and their bodies are saying, "Look, I don't want to have that cow's milk. Why are you forcing me to have it?" And yes, you're depleting, you're diminishing or reducing the lactose in it, but it's not what your body wants. So if your body is sensitive to lactose, then I suggest don't use a lactate milk. Just go for a plant-based milk instead.
Especially if you have an ethnicity.
Yeah.
How do you say that?
Ethnicity.
Ethnicity behind you. Like me, I'm Latina, so Latinos and African Americans, we usually are more intolerant to lactose.
Yes,
because it's harder for us to digest. This is one of the reasons why I drink and give my family plant-based milk, cashew. We forgot to say cashew milk and macadamia milk, because it's higher in heart healthy, unsaturated fats, the plant-based milk, but yet it gives you all of the nutrition that you need.
That's it.
So that's it for now. Thank you for listening. We are the Nutrition Physicians. Until next time. So go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and even give us a thumbs up by liking this video, so that we get encouraged and we continue to give you great information. Have a great day, and God bless.
God bless you guys.